Tense courtroom. A silence descends over the audience as the judge brings up his gavel. The Brown family is spread throughout the room, faces ashen, eyes wide open. Today, after 20 years of keeping secrets Kody and Robyn promised themselves they'd take to their graves, those secrets are going to be revealed. There's a DNA test in the mix, and the truth? Nobody saw it coming. But before we open up that envelope, let's flash back, because this isn't where the story starts. It started years ago, when the Browns first entered the limelight of Sister Wives, smiling into cameras while keeping a secret inside that could destroy it all. Would you have ever imagined that the perfect Brown family was founded on a fabrication that could destroy their whole legacy? Stick with me, because the proof is going to shake everything you knew. The story opens in 2010, when TLC introduced the Browns to America. At the time, Kody was selling us the dream of a loving polygamist family. 4 wives, 1 husband, and a life full of joyful challenges. But behind those stage smiles, Meri already suspected something wasn't right. Kody's sudden obsession with Robyn wasn't just emotional, it was legal, financial, and as we'll soon discover, biological. During those early years, Christine recalls the persistent whispers, documents stashed away in drawers, furtive phone calls at night, and Robyn holding papers that no one else was supposed to see. It was like there was always a wall between us and her, Christine confessed later. We thought it was jealousy, but it was fear. Fear of the truth leaking out. Within the courthouse today, Christine sits stiff, fists gripping, eyes locked on Robyn. She recalls it all. And today, she's prepared to testify. Kody fidgets in his seat. That confident smirk has given way to a twitchy nervousness, his jaw clenching whenever the prosecutor catches his eye. Robyn, meanwhile, appears to be on the verge of tears, fingers shaking over a tissue, mascara running precariously close to streaking down her cheeks. What if I were to tell you that the Brown family's biggest scandal never occurred on TV, occurred in confidential court documents nobody was meant to read? As the judge calls out the first witness, the whole room tenses. It's not Christine. It's not Janelle. It's not even Meri. The first witness to the stand is someone nobody expected, an attorney who represented Kody and Robyn 20 years ago. He unzips his briefcase, produces a narrow pile of yellowed documents, and states those papers show that Kody and Robyn made an agreement, one that runs directly against everything they've said for the past 20 years. The camera scans the family. Christine gasps, Janelle leans in. Meri shakes her head in disbelief. And Robyn? Her lips mouth a whisper, only the microphone picks up barely. Oh no, not that. And this is where it all gets even darker. Because these papers are not only about money, they suggest something much deeper. A lie that could redefine the entire history of the Brown family. The courtroom hums now, whispers echoing off the wood walls as the lawyer sets the pile of papers on the evidence table. The judge nods forward, eyebrows knit, instructing the bailiff to take the papers. Everyone has a feeling that something is big. This contract, the lawyer speaks firmly, was secretly signed between Kody Brown and Robyn Sullivan, years before the family ever was on Sister Wives. The room freezes. Christine's eyes widen. Janelle lets out a sharp breath. Even Meri, who's seen nearly every lie Kody has told over 3 decades, looks stunned. The attorney continues. In 2001, Kody and Robyn entered into a private pact, pledging loyalty to each other, and outlining financial protections in the event of exposure or legal scrutiny. This wasn't a spiritual union. This was a binding contract. Robyn's face crumples. She shakes her head vehemently, mouthing the words, "That's not true," but her voice sticks in her throat. Kody attempts to whisper something to her, but the judge silences him with a glare. The audience in the gallery leans forward, eager for every word. Flashing cameras. The weight of the lie finally hangs heavy in the air. Christine leaps up suddenly, unable to keep silent. So the whole time she explodes, her voice trembling. You weren't guarding the family, you were guarding her. The judge bangs the gavel. Order in the court. But too late now. The tension is released. The wives look at each other, their eyes blazing with betrayal and slowly dawning realization. For years they'd thought that Robyn had joined the family as the 4th wife in 2010, but this news depicts a different scenario. Robyn hadn't been the newcomer. She'd been Kody's priority from the very beginning. Picture discovering the life you gave up everything for was not what you believed it to be. Would you leave? Or would you struggle to reveal the truth? The prosecutor enters the podium with a second piece of evidence. It is not a contract this time. It is a sealed envelope with a state seal and words, DNA evidence. A gasp runs through the room. Janelle holds on to her necklace. Meri bites her lip until it's close to bleeding, and Christine curses softly. Finally, the prosecutor doesn't open it first. He turns to the judge instead. Your Honor, this envelope has the results of a paternity test done early this year. The results will directly challenge under oath testimony given by Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown Sullivan. The whole courtroom outbursts. Reporters jump to their feet. The wives look at one another aghast, attempting to comprehend the significance of those words. Robyn starts crying suddenly, hiding her face in her hands. Kody, who is normally loud and boisterous, sits white-faced and speechless, his fists balled so tight his knuckles whiten. For once he appears cornered. The judge demands order again, his gavel thudding. This court will take a brief recess. When we return, the envelope will be opened. Chairs scraping, reporters screaming, and family members murmuring fill the air as all awaits the truth. Christine's voice rings out above the din as she leans forward to Janelle and whispers, "If what's in that envelope is what I believe it is, then everything shifts, not only for us, but for the children as well." And as the camera lingers on that sealed envelope beneath the watchful eye of the judge, one question lingers in the air. What could those DNA results possibly reveal that Kody and Robyn have fought to keep hidden for 2 decades? The courtroom feels like it's holding its breath. The recess is over, and all eyes are fixed on that single envelope sitting on the judge's bench. The fluorescent lights overhead hum softly, but no one seems to notice. The silence is deafening. The judge clears his throat and raises the envelope with both hands. His voice is steady, but laden with significance. This court will now review the DNA evidence. Cameras zoom. Reporters lean in. The Brown family holds its breath. Kody's jaw is clamped shut, his eyes scanning the room as if he's searching for the door. Robyn's hands grip the tabletop, knuckles white, tears streaming down her cheeks. Across the aisle from them, Christine folds her hands together in prayer-like desperation. Janelle appears to be restraining an explosion of rage, and Meri just stares blankly, as if she already knows. The envelope is slit open by the judge. Papers glide out, stiff and formal. He reads the results in silence before reading out. The DNA test confirms that paternity is not consistent with sworn testimony heretofore presented by Mr. Kody Brown and Mrs. Robyn Brown Sullivan. Gasps echo in the courtroom. Christine's eyes open wide as she gives a shrill, "I knew it." Janelle bangs her hand on the bench, saying, "All these years." Meri slowly exhales, shaking her head in shock, her lips quivering. Robyn sobs, covering her face. Kody's face turns red, rage and terror clashing in his features. He jumps up, yelling, "This is a setup. These are tampered results." The judge bangs his gavel. "Mr. Brown, take a seat." But the harm is done. The secret's out. The DNA confirms one of Robyn's children, whom she long claimed were biological Kody's, is not his. The courtroom explodes into pandemonium. Journalists scramble to the phones. The audience hums in stunned whispers. What if the family you believed in was keeping a secret so large? It redefined the very bloodlines they had proclaimed bound them together. Christine's voice cuts through the chatter, shaking but resolute. "You lied to us. You lied to all of us. For 20 years. Robyn shakes her head hard, crying more, attempting to speak through tears. "I was shielding my children. I was shielding us." But Christine doesn't relinquish. "Protecting us, or protecting you? You sat there and let us give up everything while you two constructed a life on falsehoods." The judge holds up his hand for quiet. This court will examine the ramifications of this evidence. For now, the record is Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown Sullivan intentionally deceived both this court and the public. The gavel thuds, but it does not dispel the tension. Kody snarls at Christine with anger, his tone low but venomous. "You've been waiting for that moment, haven't you? You want to ruin me." Christine creeps in close, whispering back just loudly enough for the microphone to pick up. "No, Kody, you ruined yourself." The camera stays fixed on Robyn, with tears streaming down, her face buried in shaking hands. Her sobs reverberate through the empty room, while Kody sits frozen in stunned silence, his kingdom of loyalty and domination tumbling around him. And yet, hidden below the mayhem, there's one haunting question that remains. If this is merely the start of what the DNA will uncover, What other secrets remain waiting in the darkness of the Brown family's past? The gavel bangs again, but it is hardly heard above the din in the courtroom. The DNA surprise has exploded like a bomb, and the repercussions are instant. Christine stands up, voice cracking with all the pent-up anguish. Do you even get what you've done to us, Kody? To me? To our kids? Her hands tremble as she points at him, each syllable vibrating with betrayal. Kody attempts to speak, but his voice breaks. He's not the authoritative patriarch anymore. He's trapped prey. Christine? I was no. She breaks in, her voice ringing off the walls of the courtroom. You weren't defending us. You were defending yourself and her. We lived under your authority, while you negotiated backroom deals behind our backs. You wanted us blind. Robyn holds her head in her hands, her weeping increasing. She finally manages to say in a strangled voice, I didn't mean it to go so far. I didn't. I assumed if the truth was revealed, I would lose everything. The gallery remains hushed, expecting more from her. Even the judge sits back, observing her keenly. Janelle is standing next, her voice calm but angry. We believed in you, Kody. We built houses, had children, relocated states, risked everything for your dream. And all this time, you had a plan, just for her. She points to Robyn, her face red with rage. Kody slams his fist onto the table. Christine leans toward Janelle and whispers, he didn't just betray us, he betrayed everyone. Janelle doesn't take her eyes off Kody. Her lips compress into a tight line. This goes deeper than we thought. The defense attorney attempts to object, but the judge rules against her. The testimony proceeds. The prosecutor slides another stack of documents onto the bench. These are signed agreements showing Mr. Brown transferring assets out of joint family funds into private accounts under Kody and Robyn Enterprises. Mr. Kingston's name appears here, forged. We've had it verified by handwriting experts. The wives' collective gasp is audible this time. Meri covers her mouth, tears forming. Christine shakes her head, fury blazing. Robyn looks like she's about to faint. Kody explodes, slamming his fist on the table. He's lying. He's jealous of me. He always was. This is nothing but slander. David doesn't blink. He leans forward, his voice low and biting. Jealous? No, Kody. I felt sorry for you. You had a family, a TV show, people who had faith in you, and you blew it all because of greed. You didn't just betray your wives, you betrayed your children, your religion, and anyone who ever trusted you. The ensuing silence is oppressive. The prosecutor pauses before looking back at the judge. Your Honor, this is a pattern, not an isolated incident. This man manipulated those in his family, defrauded his business partners, and abused the trust of everyone he was around. The evidence indicates this isn't an error. It's who he is. Kody is gasping for breath now, his face contorted in fear. He looks at Robyn, but she will not meet his gaze. Her eyes are cast down at the floor, her hands shaking. The wives look at each other. This is no longer about their failed marriage. This is about a man who has left chaos behind wherever he has been. As the hearing is about to close, the judge cautions the audience. New witnesses tomorrow. Some of them from within the Brown family itself. The wives stiffen. The children. The mere thought sends Kody's eyes wide with fear. If strangers are already shattering his credibility, what will it be like when his own children testify? The courtroom is electric with tension when the judge calls the next witness. Reporters lean forward, pens poised, cameras clicking in bursts. The wives hold their breath. Your Honor, the prosecutor begins. We'd like to call Savannah Brown to the stand. The gallery gasps. Janelle's daughter, quiet, reserved, never a person to venture into the limelight, stands up from her chair. She steps forward in hesitant, nervous steps, but there's a strength in her eyes that even Kody cannot ignore. Kody squirms uncomfortably, his hands fluttering on the table. This isn't right, he grumbles, but no one answers. Savannah holds up her hand, swears in, and takes her seat. Her voice is quiet initially, but firm. I'm Savannah Brown. I am Kody Brown's daughter. The prosecutor nods. Savannah, tell me about your relationship with your father. She swallows hard. I don't really have one. He wasn't there. Not when I needed him. She looks over at Janelle, who offers a small nod of encouragement. When my mom got ill last year, he didn't visit her. He didn't even come to the house. I stayed up nights wondering if she'd be all right, while he was staying with Robyn. Gasps circulate the crowd. Janelle keeps her eyes shut, struggling with tears. Christine squeezes her hand beneath the table. The prosecutor moves in close. How did that affect you, Savannah? Savannah's voice cracks. It snapped me. I saw him on television speaking about family, about loyalty, about sacrifice. But behind the scenes, he wasn't there. He didn't call. He didn't care. I figured out, I didn't really have a dad. I had a man who picked one wife, and forgot about the rest of us even being here. The courtroom falls silent apart from Savannah's shaky breath. Kody's face contorts in agony and wrath. He tilts towards his lawyer, muttering angrily, but his words are lost beneath the power of his daughter's testimony. Christine's eyes sparkle as she leans over and whispers to Janelle, "She's telling us what we all felt." The prosecutor smiles compassionately. "Savannah, is there something you want to tell your father?" At this moment, she faces him, eyes directly into his. Her voice rises, pure and unbreakable. "You always told us that family was the most important thing, but you destroyed ours. You shoved us aside. You allowed Mom to suffer, and you pretended we didn't exist. You blamed the wives, the media, whoever you want. But the reality is, you left us. You left me." The words cut through the courtroom like a sword. Janelle collapses, tears flowing freely. Meri blots her eyes. Even Robyn covers her mouth, shocked. Kody shakes his head furiously, his voice ragged. "No, no, not true. Savannah, don't understand. I was under stress. I was trying to protect us." But his voice trembles. Nobody believes him. No longer. The prosecutor allows the silence to linger before stating, "Your Honor, tomorrow we will be calling other Brown children to testify." The wives' faces blanch. If Savannah's words carried this kind of authority, what will happen when more children testify? Especially the older ones who endured every one of the betrayals. Kody leans back in his chair, for the first time defeated, his eyes flicking toward the gallery, as if seeking out one sympathetic face. There are no such faces, however. Not even Robyn looks at him. And in that instant, everyone in the courtroom understands something that is chilling. Kody Brown isn't merely losing his case. He's losing his family, to the whole world. The gavel resounds as the judge summons the next witness. The room, raw from Savannah's testimony, squirms uncomfortably. Reporters write more quickly, sensing the case is ready to blow again. "Call Petan Brown to the stand," the prosecutor declares. A broad-shouldered, tall man stands up from the gallery. Petan strides purposefully, his jaw set, his eyes afire. He doesn't glance at his father as he takes the oath. Christine sits watching with pride and fear combined, muttering softly, "Be strong, son." Petan leans forward, sitting with a tight grip on the microphone. His voice is firm, but a fire burns behind it. "My name is Petan Brown. I'm Kody Brown's son, and I'm here to speak the truth." The prosecutor nods. "Petan, could you tell me about your father's place in your life?" Petan laughs cynically, shaking his head. "Role? That's a joke. My dad's role was to be on screen, to be the dad of the year, while we were fighting behind closed doors." His tone becomes more cutting. "When Mom was devastated, when we needed him, he was absent. But he made time for Robyn. Always Robyn. He said he was defending the family, but in truth, he was defending his ego." Kody bangs his hand on the table, crying out, "That's not true." The judge thumps the gavel. "Order in the court. Mr. Brown, compose yourself." Petan doesn't bat an eye. He gestures at his dad. "You left us. You left me. You left my sisters. You left Mom. And now you just sit there pretending that we're the ones who are lying? No? You're the liar." The gallery gasps. Christine clamps a hand to her mouth, weeping openly, but there is pride in her gaze. Janelle nods reluctantly, and Meri glares icily at Kody, folding her arms. Robyn whispers to Kody, trying to soothe him, but he pulls his arm free. The prosecutor moves closer. "Petan, can you give an example of when you felt your father's neglect the most?" Petan's face sets in a hard expression. "Yes, when my sister needed him. When Truly was in the hospital years ago. He didn't arrive like a father should. He arrived late. He made excuses. Mom bore the burden, while he played favorites. That's when I knew. We weren't a family to him anymore. We were a burden." Christine's tears ring out in the courtroom. Truly, seated quietly in the gallery, glances down at her lap. Kody's face contorts with anger. "You're distorting everything. You have no idea the pressure I was under." Petan leans into the mic, voice increasing. "The only pressure that mattered to you was maintaining control. Control of Mom. Control of the wives. Control of your phony image. But guess what? You've lost everything. And you deserve it." The courtroom explodes. Some gasp, some applause, swiftly silenced by the bailiffs. The judge bangs the gavel. Once more, face unyielding. How much longer can a man maintain his empire upright when his own kids are dismantling, piece by piece? The judge clears his throat. This court will adjourn tomorrow. More testimony from other Brown children will resume. Kody sits motionless, his face white, his empire of deceptions crumbling before the cameras. The wives look at each other, not with triumph, but fear. They understand the hurricane is far from over. And as Petan departs the stand, he passes his father by without so much as a second look. And Kody is left sitting there in stunned silence, overwhelmed by the fact that the very children he used to assert as evidence of his legacy are now his strongest witnesses against him. The courtroom hums as the judge comes back in from recess. Journalists murmur about Savannah's raw emotion, about Petan's blazing tirade. But the tension flares once more as the prosecutor stands up. Your Honor, the state would now call Robert Garrison Brown to the witness stand. The room tenses. Janelle presses her hands hard, her eyes already welling up. Christine leans forward, speaking in a low whisper. This is the one Kody won't be able to avoid. Garrison advances in uniform. The crisp lines of his military dress compel immediate respect. He walks with purpose, his boots ringing across the courtroom floor. He does the oath with chin held high, but his eyes are lidded. As he sits, the silence is oppressive. Even Kody appears shaken. His son is no longer a teenager. He's a man. And a man with nothing to lose. The prosecutor's voice is soft. Mr. Brown, describe your father's presence in your life. Garrison's tone is even too even. Absent. Selective. Conditional. The prosecutor leans forward. Can you tell me what you mean by conditional? Garrison doesn't blink. Dad's love was conditional. You had to agree with him. You had to stand behind his decisions. And if you didn't, he cut you off. I watched it happen to Mom. I watched it happen to my brothers and sisters. And then it happened to me. Janelle dabs at her tears. The gallery listens, transfixed. Garrison goes on, his voice firm but rattling the walls. I served this nation. I risked my life. And while I was abroad risking everything, I didn't hear from him. Not ever. No letter. No phone call. Nothing. Do you know how it feels to have no idea if your father even knows you're alive? While you're having no idea if you'll be returning home alive. The words cut through the courtroom. Christine gasps quietly. Robyn lowers her head. And Janelle quietly weeps. Kody leans forward, his voice shaking with rage and shame. That's not fair, Garrison. You don't know what was going on back then. You don't know the pressure I was under. Garrison spins to confront him square on, jaw clenched. No, Dad. I knew precisely what was going on. You were at Robyn's. You were recording. You were talking about loyalty. But you couldn't lift the phone for your own son. That wasn't pressure. That was choice. The gallery gasps. Kody slumps back, stunned. What does it mean when the very children who used to look up to you now stand in court, peeling away every last defense you've ever had? The prosecutor nods. Thank you, Mr. Brown. No further questions. As Garrison leaves the stand, he stops, just for a second, and glances at his father.